Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Kim Dawson, author of Passion to Profits, your guide to building a successful business you love. Kim, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Paul. I'm really happy to be here. This is going to be a great show today.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. And are you ready to get started?
I am ready.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Yeah, that is a great question. And I'll tell you, the reason I give this advice is because it's what I did not do the right way, and I learned after the fact I really should have done differently, is when I was writing the book, I was so excited to write it and to complete it and to make sure that everything worked well. You know, I hired an editor very early on. I hired somebody to do the book design, the cover, the interior. I was all on board in that. And the one thing that I didn't spend enough time doing was thinking about a marketing plan. And I was so focused on getting the book completed and looking beautiful that I forgot, or maybe did not realize, that the minute I started thinking about writing a book is when I really should have started marketing it. And going out to my audience, my followers on social media, my newsletters, I should have been talking more about, hey, I'm writing this book. This is what it's about. This is where you're going to be able to get it. This is when it's coming out. And I did some of that, but I don't think I did it in a strategic way. And I learned after the fact, especially after networking with other authors, that what I've seen really help authors and be successful is that early on marketing. So I think that's really the trick. Really market early.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. That's the lesson I learned when I was doing my first book 4 years ago. Was I spent half the day learning everything I could about publishing, and then the second half learning everything I could about marketing, because with the glut of books that are on Amazon right now, the last thing you want to happen is to have your book fall into the Amazon rainforest, just because there's so many things out there that you've really got to develop a strong game plan on both the publishing side and the marketing side.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
I think the hardest part, at least from my perspective, as a business owner who wanted to write a book, which I think it's different depending on what your goals are with your books. What are you trying to accomplish? I think that the difficult thing is that many people who want to get into writing books aren't already authors. So we don't always know what the process is. We don't always know where we're supposed to start, who we're supposed to reach out to, where we can find our resources. So I think there's a lack of guidance for people and a lack of sort of an all-in-one resource. I feel that that's what I could have used when I was getting started, would have been going someplace to say, yeah, hi, this is what we're going to do. Here's a schedule. This is what you should be following for writing your book. This is when you're going to, bring in an editor. This is when you're going to market. This is how you're going to do things. I think there's sort of a lack of guidance on the process. And if you want to go, whether it's you want to go the self-publishing route or the publishing route, a little bit of lack of how do you even go about that. And I think there are also a lot of rumors around things too. I know when I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to go the published route or the self-published route, I felt really intimidated by what I was hearing from people. People were saying, oh, unless you have 20,000 followers on Twitter, you're never going to find a publisher. And, unless you do this, you're never going to find a publisher. And I think that there's a lot of scary information out there that can make you not even want to write that book because you think, nobody's going to publish it, nobody's going to see it. So I think if you could really have a support system and somebody guiding you, that's really what's lacking that people really could use.
Yeah, it makes all the difference having a guide, someone to help walk you through it, someone that's been in the trenches already, that is familiar with the process. Because the thing is, publishing industry is constantly changing. Amazon is constantly changing. One of the biggest changes was when they absorbed CreateSpace last year. So now Amazon's taking care of the Kindle and the paperback version, and they've gotten so nitpicky with that paperback that if you've got one little issue with that cover, they're going to make you go back and fix it. And for those people that are trying to do it themselves, that can be very difficult to be able to get that done. And that's why I always mention, have a guide, have someone in the industry, someone that can help walk you through that process, because you have to be prepared for those curveballs.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned that, because I also had a lot of issues with the platform pieces of it, because there is, as you're talking about, there are a lot of things you don't find out until after the fact. And I know when I was working through mine, trying to figure out, what's the best way to list on Amazon, because there are different methods. You can go directly through Amazon, or like you said, I know that they bought CreateSpace, but previously you could have gone through them separately and then it would funnel through to Amazon. And there were all these different sort of nuances to the ebook versus the print copy, and who's going to distribute. And there's a lot in there that if you don't set it up right, it could be very difficult to fix it later on.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
Yeah, and it's funny, what really worked well for me was something that was so simple. But I was getting ready. I had listed the book. It was in the pre-order state. And it was on Amazon as pre-order. And I really, really wanted to get this push before it actually launched. And I started noticing that when you're in that pre-order stage, you can be on their bestsellers list for certain categories and things. And I was getting close. And so I wound up just posting on all of my social media platforms and going into my email newsletter in every place that I could, and sending emails to my friends and family. And I said, if you want to get a copy of my book, order it now, because I'm really trying to make this Amazon bestseller list. And when I did that, just by notifying everybody and sharing, I had a nice little graphic, like a social media share that was made with a nice cover of the book and a little bulleted list of what's in the book, made it look really great, and just sent it out to everybody and posted it everywhere. And I think what really was good about that, and it did actually get me on that one, top 100 list, which I was very excited about, was I wasn't just marketing the book. I was talking to my audience and people who knew me and saying, hey, support me in this. I'm really trying to make this list. And I think having that personal approach really was what made people think, oh yeah, no, I want this book. I want a copy of the book. I want to help her out. And there was that big surge in purchases. So for me, that was what worked.
So essentially asking for the sale.
Yeah, directly asking for the sale. That's right.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest thing too, when they want to be part of something bigger. And I'll give you an example. So we actually just launched our 15th book and hit multiple bestseller lists over the past couple of weeks. But one of the big things that we had in there was we had this network of 75 people that were all part of our business book. And the one thing I mentioned to them was, we showed them, we send them stock images and a few different things that they could utilize. And it's like, hey, post this on your social media, share the link to the Amazon page, and you just go, hey, I'm a first-time author. This is our book. Would love to have you check it out. I'm chapter 72. And emphasize that, chapter 61 or chapter 53, and emphasize that point. And just by doing that, you just have to get this power of community, because everyone's like, wow, they're a published author for the first time. Yes, we want to support that. And that sounds like exactly what you were doing. Yeah,
exactly. It's getting your I don't want to say your fans, but the people who care about you, to really support you. Yeah.
Well, speaking of books, I'd like to ask, what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm thinking about this question because I probably have a lot of favorite books. Many of us have a lot of favorite books. But I specifically thought, I'm going to pick a business book, like my favorite business book. And while it is very traditional, it's still my favorite. It would be How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I love that book, and I think it really impacted me because it made me look at building relationships in business from the perspective, which for me comes natural, in the focus on empathy. That if you really want to be successful at selling, if you really want to be successful in your business, you have to genuinely care about other people, care about their success, care about their story, and really want to help them. And that's really what I got from that book. And ever since I have implemented those strategies that he talks about in the book, I really had not just success in my business, but I've also had success in my relationships and in my life, really focusing on other people and asking them questions about what matters to them and making them feel important.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. It's one of the biggest things I've learned as well. It's all about connection, and it's all about giving back. And when you have that philosophy, when you have that servant mindset, it's all going to come back in a great way. And it's not for the expectation of that to happen, but it does. When you give back, when you help support people, it always comes back in such a wonderful way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And well, for our final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Yeah, that's also a tough one, to think about what's like one quote that really stands out. And sometimes I just have my own quote, like I just have certain mantras that I often say. But I decided I wanted to come up with like more of a standard quote. So it would be one from Helen Keller, and it's, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement, and nothing can be done without hope and confidence." So that for me, it really resonates because I really do believe that, and my mantra being success is a choice, that if we really want to achieve things in life and do well in life and be happy in life, we need to really be optimistic and know that it's possible. Know that whatever it is that we're looking for, that we're striving for, that we want to achieve, that it's possible.
Absolutely. Well, Kim, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on my website, probably the best place, which is the letter K, kdawsonco.com. And you can also find me on social, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and all that, at Sassy Strategist. And but probably best at kdawsonco.com.
Well, Kim, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey
Thank
ahead.
you. Thank you, Paul, for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.